Hi, this isn't the original video. It's a translation of the YouTube film IllusionShow, so it's just a formality. The translation and voiceover are provided by a neural network, and my powers are also present in the translation. The original is in the description under the video. Therefore, quality isn't the most important thing, the message is.
Those are the remnants of the consciousness of the Illusors whose power he feeds on.
Yes, that consciousness can't be brought back. They've become the Mafia, and their voices sometimes break through in Contra's head. Their games aren't over, but they're already dead. Their power is alive. But that's not the worst part. He absorbed most of the light, and it is partially imprisoned in Contra. The light craves revenge. And one day it might take control of Contra, and you know what will happen then? It will burn this world to ashes and create it anew, and even imprisonment won't help. But before that, it will kill its main traitor, the darkness. By killing Contra, we'll take that opportunity away from the light.
Wait, how so? Why is the light such an asshole? In all the fairy tales, he's goodness itself. This can't be.
The light is far more dangerous than the darkness. In a world where good and evil didn't exist, he began to consider himself the truth, while the darkness was just trying to survive. The Illusors made him this way, but he'll never be the same again. The only solution was confinement. Yes, Contor once saved this world. The main mistake was to start using and absorbing his power. The most powerful drug that has become our currency. A source of incredible power. And who do you think absorbed it the most?
Friends. Every single day felt like an endless torture for him, and he truly suffered deeply. Weeks slowly passed by, each and every day blending together as one long, unchanging experience. There was emptiness all around. The walls were eaten away. Paul was sobbing, laughing, screaming, going crazy. Yes, I've come to this. His mind was leaving him, and he regretted it. He was left alone with his thoughts, and it seems he began to forget who he was.
I know you're watching like I do.
Who are you anyway? What are you doing in my apartment?
Let go!
An absurd coincidence. Confuse the apartments.
That's it. I'm calling the police.
Wait, do you know what Earth is? This is a ship to strip space, and you are just a part of the code of an illusory reality. Life is a game, and you are an NPC in it. Randomly generated from pre-made scenarios. In hundreds of years, the illusion will collapse and you will be gone. You're not here anyway. You are just a set of numbers meant to allow others to finish their game. Clever girl, the template gave you away. You'll have to stand somewhere else. What the hell is this? In the end, one resident said. Strange. System skin. Just like me. Well, who are you? And why did you come to me? A member of my organization? Remind me of your name, my dear.
Sean. Mole.
Ah, Sean. The accomplice of the Inter-Iron criminal. I remember. So you're not even an illuser since you changed clothes. Nice outfit, it reminds me of something. So what? How did you get here? That's obvious. I asked about something else. How did you find out the coordinates of the secret illusoriness?
Have a seat. We have something to talk about.
What's all this for? You're wasting your time. And the power of the chain for teleportation. You'd better leave.
Have a seat. I can be useful to you.
And how?
I can get you back in the game. And get your powers back.
Go on.
But I have one condition. I want to know everything, down to the smallest detail. Who are you? Where is the light? And why was it so important for you to kill the Illusory?
You know how this chain works, don't you? The Illuser must have coded it, and I can't get this power. My chain was the Mafia, or the Eye of the Board. The Mafia is dead, or scattered to the corners of the illusoriness. And the Eye of the Board is on my best friend, whom I trusted more than anyone.
Vermin, I know. I know a lot more than you think. When you and the Illuser were in a battle and broke through space, I was left there alone. First I found this chain, and then I noticed two Mafias standing at a distance. They lost contact and did nothing, not reacting to me in any way. I know the coordinates of this inter-illusion, and rest assured they are still there because the Mafia is not able to find them.
Are you saying they're alive?
And this is your only chance to get your power back.
It's not just a Mafia. These are my Mafias. They are bigger and stronger than all the others, and they have always accompanied me.
Yes, those are some thugs. Now to business. Tell me. And if I like your truth, I will take your side and never betray you.
Who am I? No matter what anyone says, I was once an ordinary consciousness. It was so long ago that my avatar might be one of the oldest, and the game has been going on for tens of thousands of years. I've already lost count. Like all conscious beings, I started to notice that the world around me sometimes glitches, and sometimes it sends messages. And as soon as you notice them and tell someone, the illusion immediately tries to stop you. NPCs scream that you're crazy, and information sources will immediately give you a scientific explanation. And if you shout too loudly, you'll end up in a mental hospital. I've been through all these stages, believe me. But sitting there in the mental hospital, being completely sane, I didn't lose the desire to get to the truth. I started trying to break this world. I began with the simple things, moving dust motes with the power of my mind, and then I managed to fly myself. And then, with the power of my consciousness, I kicked down the door and walked free, leaving the medical staff in a T-pose. Yes, it was a shock to me that the people around me are just program code, which is easy to confuse and break just by starting to act outside their script. And when they don't have a prescribed algorithm for your actions, they short-circuit and they temporarily shut down until the ship's algorithms restart them. One of them is standing in the next room right now.
Well, you really surprised me. I've heard this a million times from the illusionist. You'd better tell me how you're connected to the light.
Get up. Let's have some tea. You like cookies, don't you?
You've been following me?
I have eyes everywhere. Let's go. The story will be a long one.
What?
Gajik, listen. Back in the kitchen earlier, you said, You really, honestly don't consider me your friend?
Immoral, don't worry about it. It's the rage. I'm not always able to control it, just like my power. Turns out it's not even my own. You know, considering I haven't killed you yet, our friendship is getting stronger. And the illusionist, he's not just my friend. He's like a brother to me.
How is he better than me? Doesn't it matter that he destroyed your home?
We get attached to those who open our eyes. Gejik is grateful. It's better to live in a harsh reality than in a cozy illusion. I would have personally destroyed my own world after the Epiphany, but the illusionist did it first.
Hey, I'd go back to mine. I miss my NPC neighborhood.
Well, freeloaders, I see you're busy planning. Anyway, that's not important. There's a plan. Marinochka is already running the calculations.
Probability calculation complete. Survival forecast 3%.
All right, scrap it.
A good decision, sir. I don't want you to die.
Okay, what about this one? But there's a catch.
Not bad. Survival forecast approximately 60%.
Now that's something we can work with. So, what do we have? Conter is in a closed inter-illusion. His powers are inaccessible to him. He sent his batteries to you, and you successfully eliminated them. So Conter is trapped and waiting for reinforcements so the illusionist can't escape. But the reinforcements won't come for him. They'll come for the illusionist. He has 2 Mafia left, whose power is equal to your chain, Gejik. But he has the Eye of Governance, which feeds him with the power of light. He must have charged to the max when he went to battle the illusionist. Besides, the Eye of Governance can use the power of light to resurrect a dead avatar. Alright, now for the plan. Each of you will have your own role.
Well, as an expert, I can say that we're fucked.
Everything needs to be done very quickly, so Conter doesn't have time to figure anything out. Immoral, you teleport us to the inter-illusion and hide immediately. Gejik, your task is to rip the Eye of Governance off Conter as quickly as possible. And I will kill the 2 Mafia. We can't defeat Conter, but we can trap him in the layer between illusions. To do that, we need to collapse the illusions for a moment. But only an engineer can do that.
But you are the engineer.
Yes, that's the catch. I need my red book.
Are you like going extinct or something?
The engineers of the ship Earth are a special kind of consciousness, capable of changing the source code and controlling matter. But for that, we need our red notebook, which was issued at birth. I dropped mine in the Citadel during my escape. Most likely it's in the central library of the Citadel. And we have to steal it.
So let me get this straight. You're suggesting we go rob the most protected place in the illusions? Do I need to remind you who built it?
Ludoshka controls the entire perimeter of the Citadel. However, I left blind spots that we can sneak through. But know this, one step out of line and Ludoshka will destroy your consciousness forever, and mine along with it. That's why you must obey me without question.
Who the fuck is that? Marinochka's mom? God forbid, she's evil.
Well, you could say that. It's an artificial intelligence that controls all processes in the Citadel of the Reality Mafia. She is also its main defense. Every second she scans 3 illusions around, not allowing anyone to get close to the Citadel of the Reality Mafia. Not even higher beings. They're afraid of her. Because Lyudochka can collapse the nearest illusions and send them on an endless journey in the layer. We are not higher beings. She'll just disintegrate us into pixels. Nothing of our consciousness will be left. By the way, that's what Jagger is for. He's the same Eye of Death, but one that can move.
Jagger is bad.
Well, let's begin.
What already?
What's the matter, Bruiser? Something bothering you? You were so eager to fight. Got scared?
Gejik isn't afraid of anything.
Well, I'm afraid. But at least it'll be fun.
The main thing is, you must obey me without question. One screw-up, and we all die together. The Citadel was my home. I know everything about it. Well, gentlemen, today we change this world. We steal the book, destroy Conter, take the Eye of Governance, save the Illusionist, and after that, destroy the Reality Mafia. Who could that be?
Gejik doesn't know.
They've found us.
Ah, fuck, that's for me. The hour's up.
Hey, stop.
You know, after 1,000 years, I'd forgotten what taste even was. It's strange to be human again.
Let's get to the point. I could still change my mind.
Aren't we in a hurry? You know, a long time ago when I was just starting on the path of the Illuser, light and dark were just ordinary elements that watched over order and controlled the balance. They had their avatars, a white man and a black man, who dwelled in the highest zero illusoriness. The ship's operators had the ability to manage and control them, to interact with them as if they were human, most likely for the sake of simpler communication. Neither of them was good or evil. Each controlled its own set of emotional sources for consciousness. But over time, with a greater number of the aware, and having learned of the existence of light and dark, the Illusers began to choose a side. Darkness. For light, one came to be seen as the master of evil and the other of good. Terms invented by the Illusers, which had never existed on the ship Earth before. The scenario of the illusorynesses contains both light and darkness, maintaining balance, providing the full spectrum of emotions. The roles were assigned in such a way that consciousness wouldn't linger in any one illusoriness. In one life you're a model family man, but in another a wild partier and an egoist. In one a victim, and in another a hunter. In one a ruler, and in another the one who is led. However, by elevating good, the Illusers disrupted the ship's function, which to this day continues to operate according to its original design, condemning all lower illusorynesses to an endless reception of negative scenarios. You know what the crux of it is? A consciousness born on the side of darkness, by accepting the light, fails the role's assignment and is punished by the algorithms with an even deeper immersion into the dark. And the darker you become, the darker the role you are given. And so it goes, thousands of roles downward, until your consciousness is completely consumed by the dark. This is how the higher fallen appear. They bring only horror and chaos. Their avatars change over time, becoming distorted, acquiring monstrous forms and characteristics. From the nether illusoriness, there is no way back. Once born there, you are with the darkness forever. For the fallen, his will is law. The Illusers had no idea what they were doing. They thought they were pursuing a noble goal, just as I once did. Yes, I was a warrior of light. My role was a positive one, and I despised those who were given a negative one. At some point, light and dark adapted. A glitch occurred, and they gained consciousness, their own interests and goals. They were like two brothers, but over time, Dark became an outcast. No one wanted to take his side, and his few supporters were destroyed and sent to the nether illusoriness. Forever. From there, they could never escape, and never again replenish the army of darkness in other illusorinesses. By that time, I had learned to absorb the power of other consciousnesses, the energy of my enemies. Then I became incredibly strong. I lived for thousands of years, and over time I began to notice. The world was changing. The weakened dark could no longer maintain the balance. The algorithms began to fail again and again, and that's when it hit me. The world is dying, and I will die along with it. Light grew arrogant and began to take part in the battles itself. With its limitless power, the forces were unequal. The dark could do nothing to oppose it, and so I had to betray the light and stand between the elements. My allies and I would burst into their battles and finish off everyone, not allowing either side to win. And at the same time, we absorbed their power. You know, so it wouldn't fall into the hands of the light. We worked in secret, carefully covering our tracks. And we hid in the vast inter-illusoriness. Even the engineers came to my side, realizing in a panic that they were losing this world. They were the ones who helped hide our illusoriness, and we succeeded. The light began to weaken. Its warriors stopped returning home, but it still wasn't enough. Every day new ones were recruited, while the dark faded and withered away. And that's when I made a fateful decision. The only path to salvation was to return everything to its former state by destroying every aware being, so they couldn't be recruited and wouldn't violate the inter-illusory laws. But their power, it couldn't be allowed to vanish, especially not fall to the light. We had to find a way to harvest it, on an incredible industrial scale. And all of it in secret. The engineers are a special type of consciousness capable of changing the illusorynesses directly through the ship's code. With them began the development and construction of the inter-illusory prison, the most protected, most hidden, and most powerful place in all of illusoriness. A place where illusors were stripped of their powers on an industrial scale, and afterward we made them our pawns. In short, everything was going well. The organization grew. The light weakened, the balance began to restore itself, and no one and nothing knew the true reason for the world's recovery. People began to live by the script again. The entire world was now held under our control, and anyone who opposed us became a criminal under our laws. But one day, the light found out about the Citadel. It was furious and began to hunt for us. Light and dark know practically everything. They see almost everything, but it is possible to hide from them, and even to hide a huge citadel. But again, it's only a matter of time, and so we decided to act preemptively. I went to the dark itself and offered it a helping hand. I opened its eyes to how and why it was still alive, and then I told it about my plan, to imprison the light in the Citadel's dungeons, and he agreed and betrayed his maddened brother. The deal was struck. We pledged to supply him with the power of consciousness and new followers until he could regain his former strength. But with the light, it was the opposite. It had to be stripped of its excess power so that they would both be equal in influence. The higher entities control the processes and balance autonomously, so imprisoning the light wouldn't harm the ship, but it would allow us to eliminate its conscious will and its lust for absolute power. The light cannot be taken by force, only by cunning. So we secretly lured the judge of illusoriness to our side, a higher entity of a lower rank, by promising him a share of the light's energy. Yes, it was the higher entities that fed on it in the first place. The judge was always greedy and hungry. Originally, his task was to resolve disputes in this world. For analysis, he had the ability to connect directly to the ship, to view scenarios of the past and the future. Through him, the engineers and I were able to access the algorithms of the ship, Earth, and we created something that should not have existed. The Light Trap. A brilliant device capable of holding anyone, even a higher entity, and putting it in a T-pose by overloading the avatar's scenario algorithms. And this trap is also capable of taking its energy. We also managed to recruit the Light's closest associates, who were its chief advisors and warriors, because they also wanted supreme power. And we guaranteed it to them. Yes, I won't hide it. I was very lucky that I was once in the Light's army. And my friend was Svetnoy, who trusted me and also took my side, recruiting the others. We offered him and his comrades dominion over the higher illusoriness and formed a secret alliance. But the higher entity of time did not take our side. But even here I had a scenario for everything. The scenario of force. It was the greatest battle in which we prevailed and killed the Keeper of Time. Yes, as it turned out, he was mortal and he had no consciousness. Most likely when creating the illusoriness, the chief engineer didn't even consider that someone would be able to find him. But thanks to the judge, we have eyes in every corner of the illusoriness. We obtained his artifact, which was capable of controlling time. However, its power is now finite due to the entity's death. It must be used with extreme caution. We wrote all of this into the charter of the Reality Mafia. The artifact is weak and can only stop time for a certain period and within a small radius. But for us, that was enough. When everything was ready, Svetnoy directed the light to attack the Citadel, providing the coordinates, and then betrayal. Not far from the Citadel, I turned against the light. I came out against it and activated the artifact. Everything within a kilometer radius froze. Except for me. And now all that was left was to carry the immobilized light to the trap. And then resume time, and there you have it, a higher entity under our control. On that day, for the whole world, the light was gone. His ideology of the superiority of light over darkness began to fade. Just like he himself, the number of his followers dwindled, and those who continued to follow it ended up in the inter-illusory prison. Across all illusorynesses, they still tell tales about that time. And we, on the other hand, acquired a virtually limitless amount of a special energy. Light energy. And it is much stronger than the power of consciousness. And it grants incredible might. Not surprising, it's the food of higher entities. The creators could never have imagined that consciousnesses would one day be able to master it. But it happened. And only the light is capable of generating it. And we began to milk it. Light energy became the currency of our economy. For its sake, the higher entities were willing to do anything, and became subservient to us. The best engineers joined our ranks, and their capabilities, thanks to the light energy, became limitless. We subjugated the entire world, and not a single illuser was able to stand in our way. But I still didn't let them touch the light, because if it had died, the balance would have surely been broken, and everything would have plunged into darkness, a power that no one ever learned to absorb. We realized that the light's death in the trap was only a matter of time. But if we were to free it, it would destroy each and every one of us in the name of vengeance. And if we don't consume the light's energy, we will all sooner or later die from our addiction. There was no way out except for one: to kill the gloom. And as for the light, to drain it completely, and to invent an alternative to this energy. That's when the development of two weapons by the greatest engineers began. One capable of killing the light and the other, the gloom. There were several attempts, and only on the third try did everything work as it should. In one avatar, we managed to combine the fundamental code, a subservient consciousness, and the ability to absorb and accumulate the power of the light. We named him Jagger, and so that the gloom wouldn't find out, we used the cover story that Jagger was needed to identify and specify the violators of the Reality Mafia. But only 4 people knew of his true purpose.
I don't even know if you're a villain or a hero.
You weren't listening to me carefully. There is only your life, your game. Good and evil don't exist. There is only light and darkness, intertwined in certain proportions in your scenario. You are a warrior of the light, are you not?
Former. How did you know?
But it wasn't for nothing that he trusted you and gave you some kind of message.
But he was mistaken. Because I turned away from him when his ideology became so radical. Perhaps we've even met before. But that's not important right now. So why were you willing to do anything to stop Illusory? There are hundreds, even thousands, just like him.
No, Sean. He's one of a kind. He's the only one on the ship capable of absorbing the power of the gloom. He's an anomaly.
So he's your weapon against the light?
Nah, we created him in case the light managed to break free and wage war against us. If the gloom can be killed by the power of the light, then the same works in reverse. But the problem was something else. The power of the gloom is impossible to absorb. No one was capable of such a thing. Such a being had to be created artificially.
So what's so bad about that? Your goal is to get rid of both the light and the gloom. The gloom will be destroyed by Jagger, and Illusory can destroy the light. He's a salvation if the light can truly escape its trap.
Then can you force him or command him?
I know him, yes. Freedom is his top priority.
Exactly. He's our second attempt at creating such a weapon. And another failure. We liquidated the previous one. But with Illusory. The tests showed that his consciousness is too strong and is developing a will of its own. He wouldn't obey orders. Sometimes he even tried to slip away. Perhaps it's because we created him from an ordinary consciousness, but a very stubborn one. A very freedom-loving one. His innate characteristic is a refusal to obey, no matter how many times you wipe his memory. So we decided to approach it from another angle, from the side of love. Vermin and I worked with him day and night, taught him everything we knew, reopened the world to him. But he rebelled again, and I had to fight him personally. He fell in battle.
Illusory is a failed experiment of the Reality Mafia. I couldn't have even imagined that.
Sean, remember. Illuser must never find out about his ability.